In a distant future, the forces of evil threaten to conquer a world known as the Nexus. In a desperate attempt to stop the vicious invaders led by Illidan the Betrayer and the Banshee Queen Sylvanas Windrunner, Uther Lightbringer decides to risk everything for a sacred ritual that may turn the tides of battle. The outcome demands the ultimate sacrifice. It requires Uther to give up his own existence. However, by doing so, Uther's essence, filled with all his knowledge and all of his powers, will be passed on to another human being, one of pure heart and intention, one that will rise as a paladin, a noble defender of justice and light, to save both Azeroth and the Nexus from the darkness that has befallen them. A strange feeling had befallen our young hero, who woke up at the shore of a river somewhere in the province of Goldshire. His head felt heavy, and he was looking for many answers. Thus, he decided to start his journey at a nearby monastery. After a little while, he met an alliance officer called Marshal McBride. It seemed like the Marshal had a few words to exchange with our young hero.
Greetings.
So you're the new recruit from Stormwind, eh? I'm Marshal McBride, commander of this garrison. Glad to have you on board. Khulderic. It is Khulderic, right? You've arrived just in time. The Blackrock orcs have managed to sneak into Northshire through a break in the mountain. My soldiers are doing the best they can to push them back, but I fear they will be overwhelmed soon. Head northwest into the forest and kill the attacking Blackrock orcs. Help my soldiers. Khulderic grabbed his hammer and set off to deal with his work problem immediately. The black wolf-like creatures proved to be no match for his skills. After he had successfully slain a couple of these vile creatures, Khulderic returned to Marshal McBride.
King's honor, friend.
You've bought us a little time, Khulderic, but we've got even bigger problems to deal with now. The invading orcs aren't fools. They're sizing us up, making sure that when they attack it will be to their advantage. In the forest to the northwest are Blackrock spies. They peer at us through spyglasses, watching our every move, waiting. I want you to take the fight to them. Kill the Blackrock spies. We must show them that we know they are watching us and that we are prepared.
Go with honor, friend.
Khulderic quickly analyzed the situation from a nearby hill, and he found a couple of weak spots in the formation of the Blackrock spies. These orcs were clearly weaker than expected. Almost a little bit disappointed, Khulderic went back to Marshal McBride to report his results. Excellent work, Khulderic. You've turned out to be quite an asset to this garrison. It's time for you to train. I was asked to bring this to your attention as soon as you returned from dealing with the Blackrock spies, Khulderic. It appears to be a letter sealed with the insignia of Brother Samuel, our local Paladin trainer. I wouldn't hesitate to read it before you go about any other business here in the Abbey.
Light bless you.
While he was walking through the Abbey, he could not help but admire the wonderful architecture. After a short while, he found Brother Samuel.
Need help?
Finally, we meet face to face, brother to brother. I welcome you to Northshire. This will be your home for a short time, while you learn the ins and outs of how things are done. But know that Stormwind is not far off, and sooner or later, your path will take you there. In the meantime, you should know one or two other things. You are a symbol to many there in this land. Act accordingly. The holy light shines within you, and it will be obvious to both your allies and your enemies. Also, as you gain in wisdom and power, you will need to train to learn new abilities. That's where I come in. When you feel you've gained some experience here in Northshire, come back to me and I will teach you what I feel you're ready to learn. Good luck, Paladin. Inspired from Brother Samuel's words, Khulderic proceeded to the training grounds to try out his new abilities. Khulderic immediately felt stronger and reported back to Brother Samuel. You are a quick learner, Khulderic. While you were out training, I received an urgent message from Sergeant Willem. Turns out that the Blackrock orcs have hired goblin assassins. They ambushed our battalions behind the abbey. Willem has asked me to send him a hero. You have to go and help them, Khulderic. Go!
Go with honor, friend.
Those were grave news indeed, and Khulderic immediately went on to talk to Sergeant Willem. Aye, it is true, we were ambushed. I don't dare send any more soldiers out there and risk losing them too. Have you ever seen a goblin, Khulderic? They are wretched little green-skinned monsters that love only two things, gold and themselves. Bah! The Blackrock orcs have enlisted the aid of goblin assassins to kill our soldiers. If you look to the field in the north, you can barely make out their silhouettes sneaking about in the grass. I need you to head out there and kill every goblin that you see. They need to learn that nobody messes with the Alliance.
How are you?
Excellent work, Khulderic. The rear is now officially clear. We'll take care of the stragglers. I want you to go to Marshal McBride, standing in front of the Northshire Abbey south of here, and let him know that the goblin situation is under control.
See you around.
Slaying many goblins and healing wounded Alliance soldiers, Khulderic was eager to tell Marshal McBride about the good news. With your help, we have managed to secure the northern and western sectors of Northshire. We still have a rather large contingency of Blackrock orcs to the east, and they've begun burning down the forest. The orcs have begun burning down the forest, Khulderic. They've taken over the vineyard to the east and are planning their final assault against us. They must be stopped. Head east across the river and kill the rampaging Blackrock orcs.
For the Alliance.
On the way to deal with the orcs to the east, Khulderic was approached by a woman. Times like these make me long for when the Defiers were still around. The Cataclysm has opened a pathway from the burning steppes, and now Blackrock orcs pour into Northshire Valley. They've taken over my vineyard, and they are burning it to the ground. To the ground! Please, Khulderic, that vineyard is all I have. Take my fire extinguisher and extinguish the flames at the vineyard. There still might be hope for that land. Being a true gentleman and a defender of the innocent, Khulderic could not say no. He took the fire extinguisher and set path to the vineyard. That fire extinguisher worked flawlessly. Khulderic was very pleased. Delivering good news, he returned to Marshal McBride. The Blackrock orcs will surely fall now. The rampaging orc horde is led by a savage beast known as Kurtok the Slayer. Kurtok is responsible for the recent invasion and must be killed if we are to have peace in the valley. Venture back east, across the river, through the vineyard, and look for the passage leading into the mountains. Kurtok will be there, preparing for another assault. Kill him and return to me, Khulderic. Kurtok the Slayer. So this evil creature was the mastermind behind the invasion. Khulderic showed no fear and engaged the fiend in close combat. With a powerful strike, he struck down the vile orc. Exhausted but relieved, Khulderic returned to Marshal McBride. With Kurtok slain, we are safe once again from the orcish hordes. You have the thanks of Stormwind and of the Alliance, hero. Khulderic, you are a paladin with proven interest in the security of Northshire. You are now tasked with the protection of the surrounding Elwyn Forest. If you accept this duty, then I have prepared papers that must be delivered to Marshal Dugan in Goldshire. Goldshire lies along the southern road, past the border gates.
Light bless you.
Being called a hero filled Khulderic with pride, and he couldn't wait to introduce himself to Marshal Dugan in Goldshire. After arriving in Goldshire, Khulderic had a conversation with Marshal Dugan and a shady individual called Remy Two Times. Both of them wanted Khulderic to scout the Fargo Deep Mine to collect some gold dust and large candles from the kobolds that have been raiding the mine. The kobolds proved to be feisty little creatures that wouldn't let go of their candles very easily. The Fargo Deep Mine gave Khulderic a chilly feeling. He usually didn't like traveling underground. Rats, stinky air. Khulderic could not wait to see daylight again. Before he could finish his tasks, Khulderic had to slay kobold after kobold after kobold. Inhaling fresh air into his lungs, Khulderic felt a renewed strength, and he used the light to slay the last couple of kobolds before returning back to Goldshire. He then proceeded to talk with Remy Two Times and Marshal Dugan.
How are you? Safe travels.
Before continuing on to Marshal Dugan, Kendrick paused for a bit and watched a patrol of royal guards move on. In their shiny plate armor, they sure were an impressive sight to behold.
Greetings.
Thanks to you, we know the Fargo Deep Mines is infested with kobolds. Now we need a scout to investigate the more distant Jasperlode mine. Explore Jasperlode and confirm any kobold presence.
Go with honor, friend.
Khulderic was not very pleased to hear that he had to explore another mine. But you know, as a young paladin, it was his duty to obey. On his way to the Jasperlode mine, Khulderic stopped, and he saw an interesting settlement ahead of him. He had never seen such structures, such creatures. Khulderic wasn't sure what to do next. Should he leave these creatures be, or should he investigate further?